they have to at least have a background research about the company. It is to let the management know that you're actually interested to join in the company, not just because of the money, but because you can see potential growth in this company.
Welcome to the 7 Dimensions of Wellness, the podcast that helps you reassess your habits and helps you progress. The 7 dimensions are as follows: a spiritual, physical, emotional, career, intellectual, environmental, and social. Reassess, progress. This is the 7 Dimensions of Wellness. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you haven't listened to our first episode, we are joined by Una, who is a psych major and mental health advocate.
Hi.
And there she is. Hello, Una. She's gonna be my co-host now. She's gonna be a co-host.
What up? What up?
Hello. Now, of course, the spotlight is gonna be on the HR manager with over 4 years of work experience. She's none other than Jean. Okay, so hi, Jean. Welcome. Welcome back.
Hello.
Welcome back to the podcast. And yes,
Ako naman.
yes, we are gonna talk about the career. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the career dimension, which is all about contributing our unique skill set to work. And the big question with everyone's mind is, Jean, as a former HR manager, how do I ace a job interview?
Yun agad?
Like, subo mo na how did it come about? Paano ka naging HR manager? Like, it depends, man.
Linawin ko lang. Like, I already have an experience of like working. I already have 7 years of work experience na, okay? 4 years of which ilang yung HR experience ko. Okay, so you want to start there already? Like, how will you ace?
No, like, okay, all right. So maybe what was it like first, like being an HR manager, right? How did it feel?
Actually becoming an HR manager, HR admin officer to be exact, is it is a hard task. It was a hard task because I'm no longer an HR admin officer, of course. Yun. During my time, it was not. Yeah, again, it was not just being an HR, but also an administrative officer. So I tried to manage and lead the people in our company all at the same time. So mahirap siya. Leading pa lang. Di ba? Parang like, how are you going to lead a number of people? And then when you say a number of people, of course, they have different ideas and different ways of thinking. And how are you going to make that as one? Paano mo siya mapasunod? Yun. So you also need to be the stress absorber of these employees. So when you say employees, back then, of course, I was younger. So
Right.
the people around me are there are people who are older than me. There are people who are younger than me. But of course, it's the hardest part, I think, was leading the older people.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to lead those people because they already have they already have more experiences than you do, right? So and again, I was also an admin officer, so there are more tasks to do. And even though the company is not that big, it is also growing. It is still growing. And since I have that goal to help it grow, well,
Mm-mm.
the pressure was there. So basically,
Right.
to answer your question, being an HR admin officer is or was both challenging and an exciting job at the same time because of the role that you have, the job, the responsibilities that you need to do. That's it.
I have a question. When you mentioned about like older people,
Mm.
having to work with older people,
Mhm.
kasi that can be difficult, like in my
Yes, it
experience,
was.
right? Diba? Like it, they can, in my experience, there's like less this tendency for them to be a bit stubborn. Parang paano nakikinig sa'yo, di ba? Parang bago ka
Exactly.
lang, di kita
Yan.
kilala, ang bata mo pa, di ba?
Oh,
So how did
yes.
you, di ba? How were you able to deal with those kinds of like, issues or colleagues na medyo may ganun, medyo may attitude na ganun?
Mm-mm. Um, to be honest, during that time, ang ano ko talaga, to be honest talaga, umiiyak ako. Oo, umiiyak ako
Valid.
kasi ano eh, parang you are aiming for change. Kasi during that time, hindi ko na sabihin kung sino, pero kasabay kasi ako ng nung pag-transfer ko sa company na yon, kasabay napaupo yung bagong presidente natin, and
Oh.
super super matunog yung change is coming. So bala na kayo kung
Right.
sinong
Right, right.
yeah, change is coming, ganyan ganyan. So pagpasok ko pa lang ng pinto, ganyan na, change is coming, ganyan ganyan, kasi I want to um make some changes sa company. When I say changes, like improvement, na hindi lang tayo, like yung clock in natin, hindi lang ganito. I mean, like, hindi lang siya simpleng worksheet or what. Like, we need to have a system. And then, hindi pwedeng, I made rules. And talagang, to be honest, yung mga older employees na yun,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if you're going to listen to this one. Pero,
It's alright.
oo,
It's okay.
oo.
Mm.
Yung nung time na yun ay, yun, talagang di nila ma-accept. And, yun, kailangan kong umiyak, and tapos kailangan ko ding ik- mag kailangan ko ding i-confront sila na parang I'm doing this for the improvement of the company. It's not for you to, to
To, to question.
have a hard time
Uh-huh.
na
Mm.
para magkaroon ng, oh, ano ba yan? Kagaya yung sinabi mo nga una na, oh, bata, tapos parang bago. Ba't ako susunod sa'yo? I've been here
Yeah.
for how many years na? So, parang
Mm-mm.
ako, yun, talagang kinonfront ko sila na ginagawa ko po to para sa improvement ng company. Hindi para lang pahirapan kayo.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Oo.
mm. And then, yun, pinakita ko sa kanila na yung changes na yun ay hindi lang talaga para pahirapan sila, pero para makita nila na, uy, mas okay pala. Mas systematic. Hindi kagaya dati na, na basta lang, ganyan. Actually, one of our employees confronted me as well na, alam mo, ma'am, nung dumating ka, naramdaman naming may HR. Yan, kasi
Oh.
again, I'm just
Yeah.
appointed, okay? Hindi ako yung talagang pro na nag-gumraduate ng BS Psych or talagang, yung talagang HR na bihasa. I actually graduated with um, a major of business administration, and during that time, galing ako sa bank. So, bank, tapos naging HR ako, di ba? Parang, uy.
It's a huge
Pero,
web.
pero like, paano ko siya na-handle? Na-handle ko siya sa pamamagitan ng experiences. Kasi, like, kahit bata pa ako noon, meron na akong naging mga experiences, like, yung how to handle people. Kasi, syempre, sa bangko ako. So, madami akong nai-encounter na tao,
Tama, yeah.
iba't ibang tao, hindi lang matanda, hindi lang yung mga 40 to 50, meron talagang matanda na uugod-ugod na, okay? Na kailangan pa din pumunta sa bangko kasi they need to prove na buhay pa ako.
Oh God.
Grabe!
Oo. Tapos may mga tao din na like yung super rich people. So I already met a lot of people before I before jumping into another career, which is, yun nga, pagiging HR and admin officer. So, hilaw, sure, pero through time, pag nandun naman kasi yung will mo talaga na gusto mo, may gusto kang gawin. Like, yun nga, ako yung improvement ng company that time. Like, ma-achieve mo siya and yun, magagawa mo siya regardless kung matanda ba yung i-manage mo, yung ililid mo. Kasi, again, at the end of the day, napasunod ko sila hindi dahil sa tawag dito, kailangan or ako yung HR nyo. Pero napasunod ko sila kasi napakita ko sa kanila na may nangyayari doon sa mga rules and bagong regulations na pinatupad ko. So, yun, indeed, change is coming. Oo, nagawa ko siya nung time na yun. So, yun.
Thank you. Thank you, Jean. Honestly, I'm also really, really impressed kasi sabi mo nga, apakalaki ng jump, like from bank to HR manager. Tapos, nandun yung fact na maraming nagtatanong, bakit ko susundan yan? Like, she's younger, like, she's inexperienced, hilaw. Yeah, right? So, like, that's why I really try my best. Sorry, my motor. It's like 11:51 p.m. May motor pa rin.
Okay lang. May aso nga kanina eh.
Diba? Weird. Welcome to our subdivision. Where was I? Ayun. So, that's one of the many reasons why I'm advocating this dimension actively. Kasi like, nung season 1, I talked about a young team leader, yung experience ko naman. Kasi all of the things that we have right now, natututunan natin. Right? And if your circumstance and your potential will allow you to do so, why not go for it? Just give it your best shot. Yo.
Pero yun talaga, super effort lang talaga. Kasi aside from, hindi ka naman pwedeng magbagsak lang basta ng mga bagong rules and regulations na ito na gagawin natin and all. Kailangan mo siyang isipin. Kailangan mo siyang aralin. Kasi kagaya nung sinabi ni Una dun sa last podcast na yung about sa medicine, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Na it might work for you but it might not work for another person. Diba?
Right.
So, same goes with the company. Dito sa company ABC, pwedeng mag-work yung ganitong rules, regulations. Pero sa company XYZ, hindi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yun. So, kailangan mo talaga siyang aralin. Kailangan mong, hindi lang yung rules and regulations eh. Kailangan mo ding aralin yung tao. Like,
Mm-mm.
Yes.
kaya ba nilang, kaya ba nilang um, ma-absorb yung mga changes na yun? Kaya ba nilang i-handle yun? Um, hindi lang sa rules and regulation wise, pero at the same time, yung workload na meron sila, kailangan mo siya i-consider.
Yeah.
Kasi, oo, hindi lang basta yung magbabagsak ka na, ay hindi, malito, ganyan-ganyan. So, dun din papasok yung hindi porket nasa management ka, ano ka lang, bagsak ka lang ng bagsak ng kung anong gusto mong mangyari. Dapat marunong ka ding makinig sa tao. Kasi dapat fit yung plano mo sa kanila at saka yung core values ng company.
Sorry, like that was a magical moment. Tama. Ayun.
Pero like,
Tama
you
na
know,
sagot ko, no? O sige, sabay-sabay tayo.
And then, sige, like, go una. Ayan, sige, una muna.
no, I was just gonna say na just really kudos kasi, you know, you were thrown in that situation that you had to deal with all of that, and then you were appointed, diba? So parang like you said nga, you didn't really have experience in HR, tas parang dun mo lang siya, you know, right then and there also when you attain that position. So it's
Mm-mm.
not easy. So I just wanted to say like kudos to that. That's really impressive.
Thank you. At saka, ano kasi, talagang yung basis ko noon, aside from dun sa naging HR nila before ako, um, tawag dito, yung experiences ko talaga. Kasi like, by experiences, hindi lang yung sa bank. Kasi I also tried applying to different companies before. So, I tried to go back and have a review. Like, ano nga ba yung sinabi nila sa akin? Like, how did they act when I tried to apply in their company? Yung, alam mo yun, yung parang kailangan ko ng recap, refresher from my memory. Tapos, i-apply ko siya dun sa company. Ganon. So, yun. Talagang malaking factor yung experience, yung kasamahan ko na yung previous HR. And sobrang laking factor talaga yung pag nagbasa ka. Kasi kailangan mong matuto. It's not just the words from your colleagues or just experiences. Iba pa din talaga yung kapag natututo ka through reading materials. It might not be that, you know, broad, or it might not be that informative as you want it to be, pero as long as you're trying your best na makakita ng material para mag-improve ka sa work mo, that's a big factor actually. Like, lalo na like yung sa akin na nag-jump nga ako from different industries. But that's what makes it exciting as well. Kasi na-challenge ka na, uy, sige, bago naman. Parang galing sa isang laro na gamay mo na. Tapos nag-install ka uli ng bago. Tapos aaralin mo kung paano mo siya lalaruin. Mahirap, pero exciting.
Now, I do want to like get to the main questions now, like with all the listeners, to all the runners out there. Here we go. This is it. Okay, we're gonna answer your questions because we did get this question a lot behind the scenes. Knowing that we mostly talk about work before the year ended, we got questions like, how do I pass the interview? So here's my question for you, former HR manager. With your experience before, what are the 3 things applicants need to prepare for?
Actually, I think I will go beyond 3 things.
Okay, sure.
Again, I'm just an appointed HR, pero these are the things that I am always looking after. Based on my experiences, ito din yung usual na hinahanap sa akin. Okay? And these are also the things or the reasons why I passed with different companies. Pero ayun, syempre, gaya ng nanliligaw, di ba? Kahit madami
That's a good
yan,
analogy.
kahit madami yan, talagang may pipiliin kang isa lang. And again, for me personally, this is how we are going to ace that job interview. So first thing is you have to prepare the requirements, of course. It's a very big what do you call this? It's a very big edge if you have completed your requirements before you go to the company. Kasi that only proves to show na ano ka, like output-wise, okay, ready ka. Kasi kung yung requirements mo kumpleto at on time mong nasubmit, what more yung trabaho mo? So, yun. Kung ano mang requirements yan, just make sure na before your interview, kumpleto, nakaayos, presentable. Yan. And ano pa ba? They have to at least have a background research about the company. It is to let the management know that you're actually interested to join in the company, not just because of the money, but because you can see potential growth in this company. Okay? So, ano kasi, excuse me, COVID, charot.
What? No.
Ay, huwag tayo ganyan.
Joke lang. Hindi, kasi yung iba, parang they just apply for a certain position just because of the money. Well, hindi ko sasabihin, ang tawag dito, hindi, ano ba, nagsisinungaling ako kung sasabihin ko na hindi ko tinitignan yon. Of course, that is one of the factors that you should consider when you're applying a job. But then again, the topmost reason dapat kapag nag-a-apply ka ng job is yung company itself. Like, you want to be in that company kasi naku-curious ka sa company na yon. Kasi gusto mong maging part ng growth ng company na yon. Kasi kung yun ang goal mo, pag lumaki ang company, kapag naging successful ang company, kasama ka doon. Kasama ka sa mag-grow, kasama ka sa tawag dito, kasama ka sa success ng company. Kung ano man yung success ng company mo, success mo din yun eh. So, dapat yun ang ini-aim mo. Na alam mo yung kumpanyang papasukan mo at pupapasok ka dun sa kumpanyang yun kasi gusto mong gawin yung trabaho sa kumpanyang yun para matulungan yung company na mag-grow kasama ka. Yun.
Yes.
Tapos, ano pa ba? You have to prepare your attire. Ako,
Here we
malaking
go.
factor to sa akin. Kasi, nung college ako, hindi ko din alam kung bakit. Business ad ako, pero hindi pala college. Nung OJT ako. O tama, college yun. Sorry, cut mo na lang. Ulitin ko. Ayan, kasi nung college ako, during OJT times, hindi talaga siya sa akin. Sure, business ad ako. We always wear corporate attire when we are in the campus. Sure. But then, I don't know why. Nung nag-apply ako sa companies when, again, nung OJT years, hindi ko alam bakit hindi ako nagko-corporate attire. Tapos, one time, na-realize ko, like, someone told me na, bakit ka kasi hindi nagko-corporate attire pag pag ini-interview ka? Tapos sabi ko, oo nga no. Like, I'm just selling my skills. I'm just selling my abilities. Pero dapat kasi, pinapakita mo din na presentable ka by with your attire, okay? So kailangan yung attire mo maayos, presentable kasi that is how you show respect to the company. Kasi like for example, naka-t-shirt ka lang, naka-jeans ka, naka-sneakers ka. Like napaka-casual mo naman. Nire-respeto mo ba yung sa tingin mo ba ganito lang yung company namin? Pupunta ka dito para interviewin ng nakaganyan. I mean, hindi ako sorry pero it's a factor kasi. Like, it shows how you respect the company. Yun, attire. Anyway. So,
okay.
basically, corporate attire. So, ito, baka may mga nag-iisip, ano ba yung corporate attire? Kasi, nung kabataan ko, uso yan eh. I mean, yan yung mga tanong. Ano ba yung casual attire? Ano ba yung formal? Ano ba yung corporate? So, syempre, mag-focus lang tayo sa corporate. Pag sinabi natin corporate attire, for men, yan yung long sleeves, tapos necktie, slacks, leather shoes. Okay? So, minsan, you can also bring your own coat. Kung ano man. Pakiramdaman mo yung company. Masyado ba silang formal? If they are, then you should wear your coat. But if not, okay na yung sinabi ko. Just bring it with you.
Akala ko masyado
Just-
malamig.
You can also do that. Oo, kasi ako, to be honest, sa mga nakikinig, I don't know, pero ganito kasi din yung na-experience ko before. Yung mga nag-interview sa akin dati, they always let me sit on a place na talagang malamig. I don't know why. So, nung naging HR ako, kaya nung naging HR ako, I also do that.
Payback.
Like, I let my applicants sit on place na kung saan nakatutok sa kanilang aircon. Like, I can see how they're going to handle things or situations like that. Like, lamig pa lang, tiga natin kung gaano katatag. Parang ganon, I don't know, matorture. Oo. Tapos, for girls, of course, that will be blouse, skirt, or slacks. And I think personally it is an edge if you are going to wear your heels, high-heeled shoes. Kasi bukod sa mas sexy tignan, mas corporate talaga tignan sa babae kapag naka corporate attire ka tapos naka heels ka. Mas professional tignan. And just like what I said sa boys, you can bring your own coat or your blazer with you just in case. Baka may terror na HR na ilagay ka sa aircon. Charot. Yun. Tas ano pa ba? Your mood, of course. You need to make sure that you have the right mood when you are undergoing an interview. Kasi, paano ba? Pag, kunyari, bad trip ka, or what, huwag ka na tumuloy. Kasi you will not be able to focus dun sa mga interview questions and also, wag na lang. If you're not physically, emotionally, and mentally prepared, just don't do it. Sasayangin mo lang yung panahon mo tsaka yung panahon ng HR. Ay, ano ba? You have to know the location of the company before your interview. Bakit? Kasi usually, yan yung reason ng mga tao kung bakit sila nalilate. Ay, kasi hindi ko po alam kung saan yung company. Ay, ito po ba yung alam mo yun, kung kailan oras ng interview at saka magte-text, Ma'am, nandito po ako sa saan po ako pupunta?
Oh my.
Oh my goodness, not all HR managers can respond to that. May mga HR managers na pag tinext mo sila, they won't even mind replying. Talagang bala ka dyan. Di mo ni-research. Yun. So ako, doon naman sa part na yun, mabait naman ako. So very detailed. Dito ka punta, tapos ganito, ganyan, ganan. Pero again, may mga HR na hindi maganon. Hindi sasagot or super late mag-reply. Or yung iba sabihin pa, ay, actually pauwi na ako. Ayaw ka palang pupunta. Oo. So yun, wag kang pupunta ng interview ng may mga loopholes na pwedeng makita sa'yo immediately.
Like
so,
what?
Ayun nga, yung hindi ka prepared. Hindi ka prepared sa background, hindi ka prepared sa attire, hindi prepared sa mood, hindi ka man lang nagtingin kung saan yung location. Kung alam mo man yung location, late ka kasi naligaw ka. You know, like, at least know where the company is. And, of course, you also need to have at least look for standard questions when applying so that you will be prepared and confident with your answers. Kasi meron naman ganyan eh. May mga standard questions sa internet. So, para somehow, parang ano yan, pageant. Diba? Pag sasali ka sa pageant, they need to have or they need to answer series of questions na frequently asked. Diba? So, parang ganun lang din. Pag nag-a-apply ka ng trabaho, dapat somehow ready ka. Kasi, para pag tinanong sa'yo, with flying colors mong sasagutin. Alam ko yan, nakita ko yan, sasagutin ko yan.
Ito, Jean, may spontaneous question ako. Kasi like the frequently asked questions, one of the most frequently asked questions is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? How do you answer that?
Balikat natin to.
Hindi.
Wait lang. Hindi ko alam kung pinipersonal mo ko.
Hindi kasi di ba?
Hindi. Corporate-wise, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Yung question na yan. Like, how are you going to answer that? Oo. To be honest, meron kasing mga applicants na sinasagot yan in a very honest way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pero, that's good actually. Okay yun. Nasasagutin mo siya in an honest way. Pero, if you're going to think about it, I think, um, for me, I can't say na it's best to answer it this way, pero siguro it's nice. It's nice na lang. It's nice to answer it this way na parang you are still staying in that company with higher rank or higher position, and you're still helping the company when it comes to their growth. More outputs, more workload, and ano ba, more experiences with the company. Parang ganon. Try to see yourself as someone na basically nag-grow sa company. Hindi yung sasabihin mo, I can see myself with more money. Oo, hindi kasi merong, to be honest, may mga ganyang sumasagot na I will have a higher salary, ganyan-ganyan. So, parang, okay. So, that means yung taong to ay hindi talaga siya after dun sa trabaho. Or kung meron man, not that much. 'Di ba? Kasi pag sinabi mong, I can see myself growing with a company, parang, uy, ibig sabihin talagang matutulungan kami ng taon to. Tapos, ang ano mo dyan, ang isusunod mo dyan, like, how are you going to do that? Can you give me some experiences? Or can you tell me some experiences that you had before, wherein you can show na parang nakahandle ka ng situation na alam mo yun,
nakatulong ka talaga.
Nakatulong ka sa company. Ganyan. Yun. So, yun, sasabihin mo din like kung paano yung sistema ng company, 'di ba? Ganyan. So, parang kaya mo bang mag-cope up doon? Kaya mo bang mag-cope up sa workload? Sa ganitong scenario? Ganyan. So, ayun.
I gotcha. Thank you. So just like to quickly recap, no? What are the steps or what are the things that applicants need to prepare for their job interview for to ace it, basically?
So again, quick recap for that. That would be your requirements, background research for the company, your attire, okay, your mood, of course, physical, mental, spiritual, health. Yes, physical, mental, spiritual, health, that make sure na okay yun lahat, everything's balanced, kasi you need to you just really need to be well prepared when you're having an interview. You have to know the location of the company, and you have to at least look for the standard questions when applying. Okay, standard questions that are asked during an interview.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Jean. So, is there anything else that you would like to add before we wrap things up for the podcast?
Okay, so always remember that HR managers are the first people who trusted you. So try to trust them as well when it comes to their job. You may not know it, but they are doing their best to know what is right for the company and what is the best thing that they can do for you as well.
Yes.
That's deep. That's the.
Mm-mm.
That's good. Oh my goodness. Okay. Of course. Before we wrap things up, would you like to tell us where to find you, or no?
I'll think about that.
Okay,
Maybe next time.
I gotcha. It's okay. Don't worry, guys. Like, Jean is part of the podcast itself. Like, she's one of marketing the podcast. Thank you.
Mm-mm.
Thank you. All right. So yeah, thank you, Jean, and thank you, Una, for co-hosting. This is really nice.
You're
Yeah.
very welcome.
Oh, thank you. So, for the runners who are still listening to us as of now, thank you for tuning to the podcast episode for 40 minutes. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. So, again, this dimension talks about all about contributing your unique skill set to work. Okay, so that is the career dimension. So again, if you haven't listened to the first episode of season 2, please give that a listen as we talk about mental health and the misconceptions of mental illnesses. It's kind of hand in hand with this second episode as we talk about how do I ace a job interview, because as Jean mentioned, you really have to be, spiritually prepared, physically prepared, emotionally prepared. Basically, the entire 7 dimensions of wellness. Just take out the career
Yes.
part. There we go. Okay. So, yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Una. We will see you,
Thank you.
very soon. Thank you. Bye, guys. Good night.
Thank you. Night, night. Thanks for listening.
And that's it for this episode. If you'd like to support the podcast, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Runaway Podcast. Subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, Runaway with Runaway Podcast.